Welcome back to my channel, guys. Thank you very much for joining. This evening I have 4 incredible entrepreneurs coming on to share their story and tell us what we can do to help them. I'd be really grateful if you could contribute. If you have any ideas, any network contacts, any way of supporting the entrepreneurs tonight in any way, please let me know. Me and my colleagues will be monitoring the comment section. So if we spot anything, either a comment or a question or an idea, I will share them with my guests this evening. Just to say, before I bring on my first guest, Raj, I will be live tomorrow at 3 p.m. We have 2 fantastic entrepreneurs coming on to share their knowledge, and you are very welcome. Of course, if you're listening on YouTube, subscribe and hit the alarm bell so you don't miss the live broadcast. In addition, on Friday, we have Nick Jenkins on our podcast show. For those that don't know Nick, where have you been living? He is a dragon from Dragon's Den. He was on season 13 and season 14. He's the founder of moonpig.com, which was sold for £100+ million. And he is an incredible entrepreneur with incredible insights and knowledge. And he will be on our podcast show on Friday, sharing how he built Moonpig and the insights, I guess, tips and tricks on how you can also build a business you love. So don't miss that podcast. You can grab it via goodluckpod.com. Let me pop it up on the screen so you guys can see. And let me just make sure. Yeah, so I just pop it up on screen. Do not miss this podcast. I honestly think Nick Jenkins is one of the most interesting entrepreneurs I've ever interviewed. And so it's definitely a podcast worth checking out. You'll get so much knowledge for it. I'm always so honored that these incredible, successful entrepreneurs give up their time to share knowledge with me. I always learn so much. And of course, with you guys. So tonight, the 4 people we have coming on, I just want to, first of all, just say, each of them had their own story, and I will be putting the links to their businesses down below in the broadcast. So if you like what you hear or you feel like you can contribute, but you don't want to say it publicly, I totally understand. Do hit the links in the bio description below. Whatever channel you're listening to this on now, in the broadcast below, you will see links to each of the guests that we have on. So I think that's the basics. I will now bring on our first guest today. Raj, are you there?
Hey. Hi, Simon. Good evening.
The technology works. That's awesome. Normally it's like, I cannot hear you. But Raj, welcome.
Thank you.
How can we help you today? And tell us your story.
Basically, thanks for having us on board. It's good to hear from you. And I first met you, I think, through a webinar late last year. Liked what you said and the way you presented yourself. And I thought, I've been following you for a while. I thought about time I reached out and see if there's possibilities to work together or what we can do to scale up the business that I'm kind of working on. So my story is, I gave up a job a couple of years ago, 18 months ago, to do a bucket list. The bucket list started, and my parents got ill. And when the parents got ill, I kind of realized that it's because I was the only member in the family who was the carer. So I became the carer and looked after them for 2 or 3 months and realized that they were not ill, but they were just getting senile. And because mum got dementia, things kind of lost their ways between the both of them. And they lost their ways between medication and health and appointments to the doctors. So once I got them on the road and created a manual system for them through using a diary, they were healthy, and they're still healthy. So touch wood that they're looking after themselves quite well. So that was basically what led me to what I'm doing now, which is digital health. I had the idea of, if I can do that for my parents on a paper-based system, we can digitize it and scale it up and let other people sort of benefit from it. So I met up with a friend, and we kind of created the current app that we have, which is a video consultation platform. And the idea is to move that on and add the few ideas that I picked up, which is the critical care, and grow with that. So we launched the MVP last September, and we have quite a good success rate. We have 300 clinicians and over 2,000 users. The product was designed by 3 doctors, so it's tech savvy for the clinicians, based on the requirements for the NHS. And what we're looking for is to launch in the UK now, because currently our success rate is overseas, in the Middle East and in India. So we're a British company, and we wanted to base ourselves in the UK and launch in the UK. What we found is that when we planned to launch it, which was November last year, the plan was we started about February last year to plan it, and the idea was to scale up using some investor funding and some mentoring and advisors come on board. With COVID that hit us, it threw all the plans and they went all out the window, which meant the investors that we had on board and the fund managers who were interested decided to close the doors for obvious reasons to de-risk their business, which meant we had to start organically. So we're still running organically at the moment, and having spoken to people who are using the competition product and that they've sampled our product, they've started to use our product. So it means that we have something that's valuable and is competitor leading, I suppose you could say. It's just as good as the best in the market. What we're seeing is that we're slowly gathering interest. So we have about 8,500 followers on LinkedIn, which we are doing the usual pods and casts posts over it. So we're getting interest on that. And we're just upscaling ourselves with the new website that's coming on board. And we've been on a couple of accelerators. So people are validating our product as it is. So what we're looking for is some mentoring and probably advisors to come on board to say which direction the digital health product should be going, and the possibilities of funding to escalate and speed up that growth.
Okay, yeah, well, if you've been through some accelerators, you've probably got a lot of access to mentorships and so on so far. Yeah. I guess, as always, there's a lot there. Sounds amazing, by the way. Love your personal story. I think that's really touching and good relevance. I think if you were given one wish, what would it be? I mean, what would be the ultimate thing if, this broadcast today could bring you one thing, what would it be?
Well, I think what I found is what we're missing is exposure. Because we know the product's good and we're getting the feedback the product's good, and people that touch it and like it and play with it like it. So we know the product's good. We have the team to build it, and we've got ideas in the pipeline for the next 12-18 months, which are quite innovative and have been driven by our customers. So we know there's a demand for it. It's just exposure.
So right now, to get exposure, what's the strategy? Where are the clients for this sitting?
So we have clients in the UK who we can see are going towards the private sector, and we've also got the clients in the NHS. So because of what's happened in the market with pandemic, there's a lot of doors that have been closed where people needing support are not being able to get support for whatever reason. People are not seeing the clinicians as the need or the doctors that need. So our product is prime at the moment. I mean, okay, so there is a lot of competition out there, but all the competition is B2C. They've got their own clinicians and they're doing end-to-end. What we're offering is a platform, which means even the smallest of suppliers, users, can use our product. You don't need to go and investigate and research and have a team to validate the product. What we do is we do all that for you. It's a bit like if you go to Currys and buy a laptop, they're going to say, do you want a Microsoft or do you want an Apple? Look, you come with the platform and then you add your features on it. Same principle. We give you a platform, and then we have features that you can add on it to make it as cumbersome and as complex as you want, or make it simple and it's just a web-basic system. And also our system is all fully secure. So it's got cyber security essentials. It's got the GDPR license on it. It's protected through a special architecture, IT architecture, which is unique for us. So we've done all the due diligence on requirements. It's HIPAA compliant, so it's American standard compliant.
I get it. Yeah, but I guess I'm still trying to get to grips with what you need right now. Is your strategy to? Oh, I mean, are you looking for a corporate partner, for example? Is that one way to market, or are you looking?
It is one way to market. I mean, what we found is that our product was originally devised by the doctors to go just for clinicians, and we're finding there's a lot more wider sector that can use it. A lot more other areas that can use it. So health insurance companies, private hospitals, private clinics, vets, professors at university have started using it because they can mentor their students overseas. There's a multitude of opportunities for it.
Can you get them to refer you? Can you get them to share their experience with your product? I mean, I always believe the best marketing still today is someone telling someone else about it. And when these days, the modern version is someone sharing your content, right? When someone listening to this today, if they shared this broadcast, it might end up in the hands of someone that could be your customer, right? Can you do that?
Yeah, so what we're doing is we kind of realized that, and we're rehashing our website. We're relaunching our website in the next few weeks, where we've got award-winning surgeons who've we've got testimonies from, and they're our users. So they're more than happy to become advisors and become give us testimonies.
I guess what I'm saying is, sorry, I'm a bit conscious of we don't have much time, so I'm just a bit conscious of not. I want to bring value, and it's feeling like this time 15 minutes isn't going to be enough. But you know, I think testimonials is good, but I'm talking about, you know, them sharing your product with their network. So you know, figuring out their network and figuring out how they can promote you to their network.
So we've started that already, but because of COVID, it's been a bit limited because they're secondary care. So secondary care has closed the market down because of COVID. So their businesses have suffered as well. But we've got that in place. So when we start opening up, they're more than happy to recommend us, and that was one of the marketing strategies that we're using at the moment.
Well, I think that's a good one. I mean, my audience, Luke Westwood, who is a brilliant individual, actually, really smart, written a book recently about mental health, part of a book. But he's mentioning something all about people like Babylon. Would that be a good partner?
Babylon have got their own product, and they've got 2 or 3 different versions of the product.
So you're saying your product is a competition for their product?
We would be a competition for them. They'd consider as a competition.
Are you sure? I know the founder of Babylon quite well, and I'm just thinking that my instinct around them is that they prefer to collaborate than compete. Okay. And so, you know, they see themselves as a tech service. I'm not sure, but maybe, you know, I mean, that's a big competitor, you know, to have. But I mean, what they've done is quite clever. I think, you know, work with the NHS. Is that a strategy you can deploy?
It could be, yes. We'd be more than happy to talk to Babylon. We've not discounted them at all.
Well, maybe that's something to go down. So look, I mean, today is just a 15-minute hello, share your story with the audience, and thanks for that. Do send over the deck, and I will see who else I could perhaps introduce you to or connect you to. And in the meantime, maybe someone on the broadcast today will go to your website, fall in love, and also have ideas in ways that they can help you. So they can go to the links down below. But Raj, thanks for connecting. Thanks for being so kind about what we're doing. Appreciate it. And yeah, let's stay in very close contact. And well done. Your business is a great idea.
Thank you. Thanks, Sam.
See you soon. Christian, hi. How you doing?
Hi, Simon. I'm fine. Thank you.
Good to see you. Well, thanks for reaching out, and thanks for coming on and sharing your story today. And do let us know what we can do to help you.
So I do have 3 questions. The first one is a really personal one. At the moment, I'm really lack of financial security, but you're saying that now is the best moment to start our own business. I really want to start our own business. I do have an idea, but I don't know if it's that good. So my first question would be, if you think if somebody's in need of financial security, if you still would recommend to start a business today?
Well, it's actually a really difficult question without knowing more about you. I would say everybody wants financial security. And I think it's all a matter of mindset. Now, where it differs is do you have kids?
Yes. So I got separated, unfortunately, and I do have to give some money to my wife. I do have some debt I have to pay, and that's what I need the financial security for. It's not for my own well-being. It's more for others who need the money.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point, and that's important detail, because if you were single, I would say, you know, I slept on the couch of a friend's house, and then, you know, I did barter for my office, and, you know, if you want it enough, you'll go through the pain that no one else will go through to get what you want. But when you've got those sorts of responsibilities, I change my tone a little bit, because you've got to feed those that you in your family. So I guess then I want to go a different way, which is a little bit reverse engineer what you're actually doing, because how much do you need? And this isn't something I necessarily, you don't feel obliged to answer this on air now, but I always tell people, reverse engineer, what is it? How much do you actually need to meet your obligations? You don't have to say it now, Christian. And then looking at that number and what you want to do, what's the gap? So in other words, if you're saying that you have a good business idea and you want to start it, then you need to raise enough money to pay the bills and start your business. And so for me as an investor, I can tell you, when people come to me and they've got no responsibilities, but they want a huge salary every month, I don't invest. But if people come to me and say, these are my life commitments, by law, probably under a divorce agreement, then that's a very different thing. I think it's very important to invest in people and making sure that they can actually focus on the business. If you're worried about feeding your family, then you cannot focus on a business. So I think there's a reverse engineering requirement there. Now, maybe you've raised money, maybe you haven't, but that would be probably the direction I would talk about. What do you think?
So what's the question? Sorry.
Are you raising money for your business? Is your business raisable? Are you saying you won't do the business because you need financial security? Are you saying you're going to stay in your job? Give me more context.
Okay. The context is that I also lost my job. So I do have a job interview in 2 days, and I don't feel so much attached to it, but I would give me the financial security, but I would prefer to become an entrepreneur. And yes, so is this enough context, or do you need more?
Yeah, I guess now I'm trying to understand you, because what I hear as an entrepreneur, is you've got a job and you've got a salary, but you want to start your own business. So I think the next bit of information is, what I'm hearing is you don't know how to bridge the two worlds, right? So what about the idea? Do you have an idea, or you're still trying to figure it out?
I do have an idea at the moment. It's a really new one. I do have made a short video, like 3 minutes, where I can present it to you if you want to. And yes, I would like to.
Imagine you get in the lift with, a very famous investor. He's not going to let you play a 3-minute video. So why don't you tell me what it is as briefly as you can?
Okay. I made a short video because unfortunately English isn't my mother tongue, and I stumble a lot over the words, and so I'm not so don't feel so comfortable talking in English. I understand it, most of it. Okay, so I try the pitch.
What is your native language, out of interest? Where are you from? What language do you speak?
I'm from Germany.
Germany?
Yes.
Okay, say it in 30 seconds in German then.
I prepared. Sorry, I prepared in English, so I have to.
Then go ahead. Then say it in English. Go ahead.
Okay. So my business idea is to create a social information platform to make information more accessible by the visualization of mind mapping. So as you know, there are a lot of mind maps already out there, applications. And they are very helpful for giving an overview and structure information. But what they lack of is social interactions. So what I would like to create a platform where there is social interaction. What does it mean? The idea would be to take the utility of Wikipedia, the spirit of Reddit, and the accessibility of a mind map, put it into a melting pot and create a new tool where the people can go to. And this tool would be useful for people like journalists who can share their research, for business people, for digital creators, and even for scientists. So they can share their ideas. And yes, so it's a short pitch.
I think I've got it. Do send me the video and I will have a proper look at this so I can give more connected advice to the idea, because I think I get it, but I love mind maps, by the way. I'm just obsessed with mind maps. I think I'll draw one today somewhere. But I love mind maps. I think they're completely underrated as a way of getting your point across. So have you got a pitch deck? Can you raise money?
Sorry, excuse me?
Can you raise money for your idea?
I haven't tried even. This is the first time I pitched it.
Oh, okay. So I would suggest that you go and pitch your family and friends in Germany in your native tongue and explain the idea to them and get better at convincing people that your idea is worth investing in.
Yes.
Practice that tomorrow. Start talking to them tomorrow. Call them, Zoom them, whatever you need to do, reach out to them and start saying, I've got an idea. First of all, tip, don't ask people for money. Ask people for advice. Okay? When you ask for advice, you get money. When you ask for money, you get advice. Right? So go and pitch it to people and say, I want your advice, because that is actually what you want anyway right now. And then see what they say. Let them push back, adjust where it's needed, ignore where it's needed, but fine tune over the next 10 days your pitch. And then come back to me, and I'm going to introduce you to an investor that can invest in this. So you need a few things. What is the business? Why is it different? Why are you the right person to make it happen? And how much do you need and why? Okay. All right. So let's do that.
Thank you very much.
I think, and one thing I'll just say, and this is also for the people listening, I think don't try and replace your job income with a startup income, right?
Yeah, that would be one of my questions. So if you think it is even possible to do it as a side business at the beginning.
I think side business at the beginning. I mean, my personal belief on side hustle, I think it's overused. It's a Gary Vee thing. It's overused in my view. I think I actually think the opposite. I think your daytime should be your hustle, and your side gig should be waiting tables to pay the bills. Until, I mean, COVID makes that one in particular difficult. But conceptually, right? Your side hustle is what you love to do should not be a side anything, right? If you believe in this idea and you want to make it happen, it's what you focus all your free time on, and then you do a side hustle to make the money to get by, right? So Airbnb's side hustle, in my view, really was selling cereals, right? And the actual idea was making a marketplace called Airbnb. Okay. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I understand.
Yeah. Airbnb sold cereal to fund their Airbnb adventure, right? So you need a side hustle that you won't do forever, that will pay the bills to get you where you want to be, right?
Yes.
And that's what investors want to see, by the way. That's 25% of the reason people invest, in my view, is that they see that the entrepreneur wants it. The entrepreneur is making some sacrifices. Now, you don't look like a particularly extravagant guy to me, and you've got the right moral code wanting to take care of your family. And I think any investor will see that as a plus, not a negative. It's a plus that you take those responsibilities seriously. I certainly see it as a plus. I take my family responsibilities very seriously. So it's a good moral code element to have. And I think that, you just need to hustle and focus and come back to us in 10 days time. Tell me what everybody said that you spoke to within your family network. See if anyone said, I love this idea, I'd like to invest. And then maybe have a little think about what you actually need to give this, I'm going to say 12 months push, right? So you know what you need for 12 months to pay all your bills, write it down, be very, very tight on it. Don't be extravagant in any way. Don't include holidays in there for you. Your children and your partner, that's up to them. You fund that, that's your responsibility. But I'm talking about you, focus for a year. What is that cost? What do you need? Any investor will accept that, because that means you're not burdened mentally with not paying your bills. All right. So have a think about that. Practice your pitch. Get it in. Imagine you're walking into an elevator with a high-profile investor. You're going to pitch it to them. They're going to go down 30 stories, and they go, "Wow, I'm in." Right. But first, practice on your family and friends, and maybe, just maybe, one of them would say, "I'll give you the $50,000 you need to give this a good push for 6 months." Maybe. Okay. You might be surprised.
Okay.
All right. I know this is a 15-minute a session. I know it's never long enough. I always feel it, but I'm gonna. What was it useful? Is there any other final question before we move on?
Was very useful, but one final question. I practice in my mother tongue, and I will present it to you in English. Simon?
Yes, I'm listening to you.
Okay, I do present it to you in English, so I do also have to practice in English as well. I should.
Well, it's up to you. Actually, the investor I'm thinking of is German.
Oh, that would be really nice.
Yeah. So
sorry, this is the second last question.
Go ahead.
Do you think it would be appropriate to do a visualization, like some idea how the app or platform would look like, or is it enough that I present it verbally?
I think you need both, because imagine, I don't know what's happening in Germany. You've got COVID right now where you are. Are you meeting? Yeah, you got COVID, right? Yeah. Well, I mean, I would suggest to you, just because of the practice element, you pick up the phone and call your family member and say, I've got this idea, well, tell me what you think. And then you do it verbally, right? Just with no tools. Let's say they say, that sounds frigging awesome. And you can say at that point, great, let me send you a video I've done on it as a follow-up, all right? Okay. But I want you to get the whole idea across verbally.
Yes, okay, I understand. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for your time.
No, I mean, it's a pleasure. I'm always conscious that these things are so quick, but do send me the video in the meantime, because I'll be able to have a little look and give you some feedback on that. And then, is it all in English right now? Your video?
Yes, yes.
So ironically, you've done the video in English. I mean, sometimes the investor nationality is an interesting thing, by the way. Because, and the reason I think is interesting is, well, first of all, I actually speak German, but I think so don't judge a book by its cover, right? The second thing is there is also an element of, quite often with this stuff, you're going to have someone that works with you, right? You're going to have someone that works with you intensely. And so actually you need someone that culturally will understand you. My best friend is German, so I have a strong understanding of the culture. Plus English people are not so different from Germans. And so yeah, I think that, but the point is, the learning is, the thing I want to make sure I tell you is, it's actually probably better for you, for the early stage investors, to get an investor from Germany. That's what I'm thinking. The guy I'm thinking about is actually German. And I think that will actually help you, get, culturally, when that first investor is so important. Okay. And if you're not confident in English, that's perfectly reasonable. I'm not confident in German, so I don't like speaking German. I can, but I don't like it. I understand completely what you mean. Yeah. But maybe then, therefore, you actually need to target the angel investment community in Germany. I know a little bit about it. I'm much stronger in Hong Kong, London, and San Francisco, contact-wise, and they're all English-speaking markets. I mean, Hong Kong has Cantonese, but most of the people there are speaking English. So, when you ask me, if you want to tap into my network, the strongest element is English. I don't know in Germany. Out of interest, what's it like in Germany from an angel investment marketplace? What's your feeling? Berlin comes up a lot, by the way, so I don't know where you are exactly.
Yeah, I orientated more to the international side because I don't feel so much attached to the Germans. I don't know why. Maybe I will change my mind because of your advice.
Well, again, I mean, that's why I say it's very personal. But I had someone who invested in one of my businesses along with me, and they were from France. Nothing against French at all. I've got a lot of friends that are French, but there was a very different a cultural mindset around the product, and so I do think that's something to consider. I think getting an investor on board always sounds good, but you just got to make sure they fit with your culture. And it's not necessarily German versus French versus English, but it does help if you can laugh together, for example. Humor makes a huge difference, and language and humor are quite closely aligned. I personally have enjoyed businesses, even if I've lost money, if I've had a laugh with the person in the business along the way. So don't underestimate the journey of getting there. And therefore, when you get the right investors, it can really, make a huge difference if you get ones that have the same sense of humor as you. So on that, I want you to tell a joke now, almost like when you tell jokes, what language do you speak?
German, but I don't know too many jokes, unfortunately. It's a very cliche German.
Great. No, it's wonderful to speak to you, and yeah, I look forward to seeing what happens in the next couple of weeks. And yeah, I think don't worry. I've got a feeling you're gonna work this out. Will this be your first entrepreneurial endeavor, by the way?
Sorry, endeavor means the first attempt?
Yes.
Yes, I would be the first serious attempt.
Right. And so you did try before, but it didn't work, right? Is that what you mean when you say? What went wrong? Why was it not serious?
I invested into business courses, and they had some prepared business ideas, and I didn't feel attached to them. I tried them, but it didn't work for me. And I realized that it is really important that you have something that your heart is attached to the idea. Otherwise, it's really difficult to work through.
Interesting. Okay. Well, yeah, great. Well, send us the video and go do that homework, and then and let me know what you think. And in the meantime, if you need anything, do feel free to reach out again. Okay, Christian?
Yeah. Where do I send the video to?
Talia.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Simon. Really, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. There we go, folks. 2 of the entrepreneurs. We've got another 2 entrepreneurs coming on in a minute. I just wanted to highlight that we have set up a few events to try and help people. You know, my mission is to help 1 million people start a business of their own and make sure that no one's alone doing it. So we have set up a whole series of activities to try and help people start businesses, grow businesses. Tonight's session is all about giving people, you know, honest, real, direct advice in the hope that it's useful and can help them take their dream of starting a business and make it real. So, but just before we bring on our next guest, I just wanted to check the comments, see if anyone's got any questions. I did see some brilliant comments on TikTok, by the way. I saw you guys, and Christian, who's actually now in the waiting room. One thing that the audience said, and I didn't say it because I'm not sure of the law in Germany, but can you get a 4-year tax refund, is what someone said. In Germany, apparently, maybe you can get a 4-year tax refund if you've been employed and paying tax. I didn't say it to Christian as advice because I don't know if that is feasible advice, but I saw the comment from the guys listening on TikTok, so I noticed you. Really appreciate the comments. So I'm now going to just quickly read some of the comments, and kindly people are being very nice about my advice, which is always nice. But do you guys have any questions? And how can we get mentored by you? Well, I give free mentorship. I give free advice. I never want anything in return. I'm not selling anything. I'm not going to upsell you into anything. I don't want anything in return. And if you want to get advice, the only downside is I'm a little bit busy. So there's a bit of a wait because I only have so many hours in a day. But you can sign up via my website, simonscribb.com. Maybe I'll pop that on the screen now. And you can also register for 15 minutes one-on-one free help, as I am doing this evening, via purposefulproject.com. As well as on that website, you'll see all the resources we have to teach you all sorts of things. So one of the things we've got coming up is how to use TikTok. I myself and Mark Tilbury, who is one of the most popular people on TikTok, 5 million followers, he and I will be putting on a free webinar. No upsell. We don't want anything from you, just helping you. Him and I will be doing a webinar in 2 weeks' time, and you get all the details on our website, purposefulproject.com. But yeah, just jumping around, seeing if I can see any good questions, and if anyone needs any help. Hey Simon, how do you raise money today if I have a business idea? Okay, it's kind of what Christian was talking about a moment ago. And I think there's so many ways to raise money. I've actually done a 15-minute video on this on my YouTube channel, which might be useful. But the basic ways to do it are family and friends, which comes with its strengths and weaknesses, but they know you best, whereas everyone else you have to pretty much convince of who you are and your character. There are what I call seed investors, kind of angel investors. These are often high net worth individuals or people that look to make their portfolio include riskier investments like startups. I have invested personally in 68 startups. I've just invested in a business a few weeks ago called peasandpod.com. And, I actually don't think they're high risk. I think if I'm involved, I honestly believe the risk goes down. I'd rather be involved in the investment instead of putting it into the stock market. If I invest in Bitcoin, I have no control over what might happen to that investment. It might go up, it might go down. I have no influence on it. And so in my mind, it's pure gambling. Whereas if I invest in a startup, I can support and help and have an influence on its outcome. So, but that's the second way, kind of angel investment. There are loads of great resources out there around this. Platforms like angellist.co, where you can go and see all the different ways that people are investing in startups. It's pretty awesome, that platform. Then there are kind of equity crowd platforms, and you've got a few different types. You've got ones like in the UK, Crowdcube, Seeders. You tend to sell a bit of equity, and a large number of people then buy it, sit in a vehicle and own equity in your business. It can be a pretty powerful way of building a community. If you've got a product-based business, they can often be your kind of first customers as well. And the downside is you have to sell equity often to a bunch of strangers. So getting the right legal structure in place and working with credible platforms that do that for you is very important. And then there are platforms like Indiegogo and Kickstarter. These platforms don't take equity from you as a business owner. They will raise money for you and not take any equity. Their model is to take often 9% of the money raised. That's the industry standard. The good news is that they don't have equity, but the bad news is those campaigns often only work if you've got a product that you can give people. So that's just something to keep in mind. And then, of course, you go up the food chain at this point. You get VCs, institutional funds, pre-IPO investors, and so the food chain is pretty interesting. But that's how it basically works if you want to raise money. I'm hoping that banks are going to step back into the arena and start helping small businesses. Right now, as we all know, they've somewhat fallen behind the more modern ways of helping small businesses and raise money. But I'm hopeful, if I read between the lines with all the competition they've got with fintech startups and so on, that they are going to step up and become part of the infrastructure that helps people start businesses and helps people grow their existing businesses and survive right now. So that's it, folks. I think our next guest is in the waiting room. So if you do have questions, I will answer them after helping the next person coming on now. What I like about doing this broadcast is sometimes the people asking the questions may teach you a question you need to ask. Often we don't know what we don't know. So that's why I like you guys listening in, so you can learn, but also so that you can contribute. So if Raj or Christian, the two guests I've already had on, if you know a way to help them, their links are in the broadcast notes below. Feel free to reach out to them direct. In addition, feel free to share this broadcast. Feel free to help them by sharing this broadcast, get their story out. I would appreciate it. Now, let's see if Daniel was here. He's got a very interesting icon on his screen, which makes me worry there's no camera. But Daniel,
can you hear me?
Yep, can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, great. So thank you very much for this opportunity, by the way.
Absolute pleasure. Yeah, no problem. What's going on?
Well, I started a business last year while I was still full-time employed, and it's something that was in the back of my brain for many years because I've always had an interest in starting my own business, but I've been in a very successful sales roles and senior account manager and executive roles, which were very highly paid, and it was quite hard to move away from that into the unknown. So I have been looking in the background for quite a few years to find a niche business, and I've been following yourself and many other entrepreneurs to find out what routes to go down. And the big message for me was always look to find a niche business that would resonate here in the UK, and that's been proven elsewhere. and see if you can hit the markets running. And if there's not many competition out there, then you'll be able to have more chance for success. So what I found was in America, they use ozone generators to get rid of odors, get rid of bacteria, and get rid of viruses. And it's been widely used over there, and the same in Europe. But here in the UK, it's not really kicked off as a service. So it's really a sanitation service. What it does is it's 3,000 times more effective than chlorine bleach. It treats both the air, surfaces, walls, ceilings, carpets, textiles, all at the same time. So you can literally do an entire gym, for instance, get rid of all the odors, sanitize it, and be fully up and running within an hour. While it's in use, it's lethal for people to breathe in, so it has to be unoccupied spaces. But in this current day and age, it also gets rid of the coronavirus. It takes literally a matter of minutes to get rid of the coronavirus in large areas. And that's the reason why I landed up putting every single penny I had into the business to find myself some good ozone generators. And in the UK, they have ozone generators which have got little computer fans, and they can't distribute the ozone through very big spaces. So I landed up finding an inventor over in America who invented really big ozone machines that have got these big 2 horsepower fans that can literally distribute it across big cathedrals or big open spaces. And I landed up actually buying it from them converting the energy to be UK compliant. And I've got all these ozone generators at home at the moment. So what I wanted to do is start off by proving the point that the service works. So I wanted to contact local businesses, so talking about dentists, doctors, gyms, casinos. There's a lot of leaflet dropping, and I've also got my websites up and running called ozonesanitech.com or the .co.uk, got both of those. So the website that I produced myself, and unfortunately I have not many takers, and I'm not sure what the reason behind that is. For me personally, I've got over 22 years worth of sales experience. And I think that I've put a lot of effort into the website, which has been revamped about 25 times because, of course, you become a bit of a perfectionist when you're trying to get it right. And what I really wanted to then do is turn it into a franchisable business whereby you're going to get more machines and then have people looking after their own territories across the rest of the UK and then make it grow. So that was my initial idea, but because I've hit a bit of a roadblock, and currently I'm competing against fogging machines. The fogging machines, of course, use a chemical residue everywhere the fogging is taking place. With my business, it's 100% chemical free. So it means that if you have any allergens or anything like that, you're not going to be exposing yourself to any chemicals. So it's got lots of benefits in there, and that's why I really believed in the business to start off with. But because I've not had enough take up, I'm wondering, am I knocking on the wrong doors? And really want to speak to somebody like yourself and see if you've got any ideas on where I could move this into direction-wise, or any kind of advice is welcome, to be honest.
Yeah, Daniel, thanks for being so open and sharing your story. I know it's not easy to, I always think the strongest people in the world ask for help. You know, it's, and I know as an entrepreneur myself, sometimes you feel like it's your problem. You're in this hole. It's your own problem and you've got to solve it on your own, and you haven't, Daniel. So, you know, thanks for being, you know, brave, frankly, and strong, and asking, you know, for a little bit of help, because I know it's tough, especially if, you know, you changed the website 25 times. That also tells me that you know, you tried every kind of pivot you can. You're trying to, you know, figure out what the formula is to make this work, right?
Yeah, I've tried going into for the SEO optimization. I've gone on to Google, followed their advice. I've gone to Yelp. Then they've had that optimization of my website as well.
Okay, you know what I'm going to do, Daniel? You know what I'm going to do with this? Because no, I think what I'm nervous about is you know, you're a marketing guy, right? So you know, have you spoken to the largest cleaning company in the UK? Is Miss Bouquet Cleaning Services. Rachel Flanagan is the founder. She was on my podcast show. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I'm afraid not. No.
Yeah, I want to put you in touch with her. because she owns, as I say, one of the largest cleaning companies in the UK. I think I know the problem with this product, and that is the whole room needs to be clear to use it, right? And there aren't many environments where that is possible.
True.
And so as a solution, I think it's brilliant, but also it has that Achilles heel. So am I wrong?
You're not wrong, and it's that makes it a bit of a tough sell. But on a plus side, you can do it during the evenings and during the weekends, where generally businesses are shut. Of course, that does exclude hotels and other 24/7 operations. But you could obviously go in there during non-office hours. So the hours wouldn't be ideal, but that's something that would be mitigated by the amount of work you could hopefully get in. So you could do your sales and admin during the day and then do the work during the night for those businesses where that would be best suited. Yeah, there are also the things I've been trying to contact councils and property management companies, but I'm thinking because the whole idea of ozone is such a new concept and not widely known, it's a difficult one to educate people in the first 10 seconds of speaking to them. So I guess it's a bit of a difficult one to adopt a new technology.
I understand. Yeah. Look, I think the first step is for you to talk, or at least send me what you've got information wise on this. I'm going to pass it to Rachel. Okay.
Yep.
Ask her to have a look. She's very busy. I'm going to ask her to have a look and give some feedback. And she knows everybody in the industry.
Wow.
So you're busy trying to sell B2B. She's done it already. She's Entrepreneur of the Year. And I'm going to ask her for a favor to see, what the answer might be to this problem, because my typical answer around this would be like, to analyze your sales and marketing, but because you're in marketing, I'm going to skip that step because I'm just going to assume you pushed all the buttons, right? And then I'm going to ask her why this product is not mainstream and what the answer is to bring it into the market, because she would have the system to deploy it into the market. And I want to get her feedback to help you. One of these things, Daniel, you want to I'll just say bluntly, I hope you don't mind because we've got short time.
No, of course.
And I want to put it very delicately, okay? Because I think when people give me feedback, there's two ways to go, right? Sometimes there's what we call perseverance. You keep going. Yeah. And the other time is to realize the horse is dead, stop flogging it.
Yeah.
And you sound like a super smart guy. The reason people, I think, don't make it in life is sometimes they don't learn from their mistakes, right? So sometimes you just let this product go and do something else.
Well, this is the crossroads where I'm at the moment. It's is my product wrong? Am I wrong, or am I flogging that horse here? So it's
let's find out. Let's find out if it's a dead horse. Let's find out if it's a dead horse, okay? Because I don't want to tell you drop it and do something else, because I don't have enough inside industry knowledge on this product and why it's not working to tell you that. I have a gut feeling that it's a dead horse, but I don't want to tell you that because I don't want to be. I want to be right. I don't want to just want to speak it. So let's ask Rachel, okay? And let's see what she thinks. So send what you can. I'm literally going to take whatever you send me in email and I'm going to press forward on it to Rachel.
Right.
And I'm going to ring her and ask her to stop whatever she's doing, surviving herself in business these days, and go and have a look at it for you. All right. And if she can't see the answer, then you have a dead horse.
Well, I couldn't ask for anything more than that, could I really? So that's a lot more than I was ever expecting out of this phone call. And I think that you're doing the most amazing thing ever. And I really hope you keep this up. So thank you.
Thanks, Daniel. Well, whatever happens, you're an entrepreneur, right? And whatever happens, you make this work, brilliant. You don't, you'll make something else work, Daniel. That's the way to think, mate. All right. Well,
I can't thank you enough, and for you to put it forward to somebody else, I can't give you enough words of thanks. So thank you.
Well, let's thank Rachel when she helps. She's going to bring the real knowledge to this one. So send it to me, Daniel. Send it to me now. I'll do it tonight. Okay.
Okay, I'll get on it. So just, I guess you would like to see the website and just some bullet points as to what it is.
Yeah, and if you want to do, I mean, keep it short, but do a paragraph of what you tried and why, what you want to achieve with this, just as simple as you can. And just imagine Rachel doesn't know you; she's going to read it, and I'm going to get feedback from her, and then go from there. If she's got more time, I might ask her to jump on a call with you. Otherwise, I'm just going to get her feedback and give it to you direct. Okay?
Oh, fantastic. Okay, I'll work on this now. Be ready for you within an hour.
All right, mate. Nice to speak to you, and thanks for coming on and being so transparent and honest, so that it makes it easier to people when you're like that. So thanks, man.
Well, I'm super chuffed. Thank you, Simon, and hopefully I'll engage with you again in the future at some point.
Yeah, always here, mate. As I say, this is just, entrepreneurship is a journey. So, whatever happens, we'll stay in close contact. And Talia will also connect you to our network internally now, where there's other entrepreneurs that you can lean on if you need help. Okay.
Great, and also good luck with Nasta and Meta as well. Yeah.
Ah, sure. Thanks.
All right.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers.
There we go, folks. That's our broadcast this evening. I actually see so many great comments, and I always appreciate Ross, Christina, Luke. I see you guys, Alexandru. Thank you so much, everybody, for your contribution. Okay, you're asking some questions, Christina, about how to protect your idea, basically. And I have to say, I often think that an idea is overvalued, if I'm being honest. And so often it's really about reaching out and connecting with people. And I know this experience myself. If I have an idea and I share it, 9 times out of 10, what actually happens isn't someone steals my idea, but someone puts their hand up and says, I can help you with that. And so way too many people think an idea is where the value is. Execution is where the value is. So I wouldn't worry too much about the idea. Now, there are exceptions to every single piece of advice. And there are businesses that perhaps do need to have some protection. But I would say, generally speaking, the best thing you can ever do to make your idea happen is share it. Someone here, Ross, is asking, what would you say to yourself as a 24-year-old entrepreneur? Enjoy being 24, man. I feel like I am still 24. I don't know. When you say that, I'm like, I am still 24. Of course, I'm not. No filter I can possibly put on any of these cameras are going to make me look 24 again. But I'd probably say enjoy it a little bit more. Don't be in such a hurry. Appreciate the journey that you're on, and don't overthink about what's not important, like making money. But if I'm being blunt, I love my life today. So I probably tell my 24-year-old self to just carry on. Find purpose earlier in life, and be kind if you can. Okay, guys, I think that's it. It's 9:30, so we keep the broadcast to an hour. That gives you plenty of time to get involved and me plenty of time to go and watch a bit of Netflix. But thanks so much for coming on this evening. We have another broadcast tomorrow at 3 p.m. We have an incredible couple of entrepreneurs, one coming on to share their knowledge and the other coming on to tell us their story, and we're going to help them. So thanks for joining this evening. I hope you found it interesting. Someone said more interesting than Coronation Street somewhere. I think it was on TikTok. Thank you for that. If I'm competing with Coronation Street, I'm pretty happy. But this is real life, folks, and right now people need our help. Personally, I don't have the skill of a doctor. I can't be on the front line helping people that way, but I am therefore dedicating what I can do, which is business, and coming here and trying to help people for free, no catch, no upsell, in a difficult time, build a business so they don't need to wait for a job and can create one for themselves, and also make sure they get through any difficult time they're having with their business. So we're here on thepurposefulproject.com to help you. If you need anything, reach out, drop us a comment. We always get back to comments. In addition, if you want to come on to these one-on-one sessions and get some help, then register up through thepurposefulproject.com and I will be here to help you. That's it, folks. Thanks again. I'll see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. or for the podcast broadcast at lunchtime, UK time, lunchtime on Friday, when I'll be interviewing Nick Jenkins. He is one of the top entrepreneurs in the UK. He is one of the dragons from Dragon's Den, season 13 and season 14. He'll be sharing his story about building Moonpig into a £100+ million business, which he sold. And he will be telling us his philosophy and structure for building businesses and making them successful. So do join us. Hit that alert button as well as the subscribe button to make sure you don't miss our live broadcasts. And I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.